So in my role, I mix in approaches of leadership. Until now, it's successful.
So what is
Yeah.
the bigger mistake and failure, like you say, like you learn from that?
So first of all, as a leader, the leader, the meaning of the word is in the word. It's a
Yes.
leader, which means, first of all, the leader should have self-awareness. Okay, do prioritize things and work on personal development of others. So you should work on developing your team members. You should work on guiding your team members. You should be ethical, of course, in your mind and in your work, to be like to have ethics in your mind. The leader should bring out the best abilities of his team members, and if they do a mistake, it's not about scolding them. It's about motivating them, telling them what is best to be done, and not scolding and shouting and so on. Leaders should have vision, because the team members need this vision from you. So if you don't have a vision, they won't have the vision to continue the work. They won't have the vision to continue their career. Leaders should have strategy and work on certain strategies. It depends on the business, of course. Each business has different strategies, but and each project even, and each client, and each role has a different strategy. But at the end, they should have the strategy in their mind. So the mistakes I did, for example, it was before that. It's it's a strategy. I didn't have the correct strategy for some of the work I have done. This is where I fell into some mistakes. I fixed them, of course. Then I was not having like bringing the best abilities of my team members. When I started, I was just focusing. Maybe I was stressed out. Maybe I was like I didn't have the experience, so I was focusing more on how to achieve and how to finish the project, or how to achieve my goals, without thinking about bringing out the abilities of my team members. And as a team, the team members do the work. So I should, if I focused more on them, then I would have done my work in a better way. So these are the main two mistakes I fell in terms of leader when I started my leadership career, and this is because the lack of guidance that I didn't get. This is where I learned from, also from those mistakes.
It's very nice because that's what I have learned over the time as well. That every leader come to me, like a brother sisterhood, and they share with me what failure they have. And with me, failure is the best gift ever they can give to me, because I'm sure in the journey, because I'm still young entrepreneur, I'm still
Yeah.
young leader. It's a lot of things I can learn from people like you, or people similar like you that have been doing this for a decade. You see, um what another thing that beside of failure and mistake you make, that you have learned, that you think another young new leader want to be a leader, they should learn, they should preparing, and they should ready to take over the role? Because let's be real, you won't last forever and I won't last forever. And
Yes.
our job as a leader is pass on to the next leader what you have to done, what you should do, and what is the best for you to continue the journey at leadership. So what is
Yes.
the thought you have over years that training a young new leader as well?
Okay. So thank you for this question, because I was going to go through some of the types of leadership nowadays in the world. So, or in the world and business and everything. So usually there are some types of leadership people work on, and some of them, everything has the advantages and disadvantages. So in terms of leadership, uh, you have, for example, a type of leadership called authoritarian, which means he is more into authority leadership. Okay, they this leader imposes expectation and define the outcome. So it has an efficient strategy in timelines. Okay, but it has some disadvantages, which means this leader is very strict, and can lead to like the employee, we call it employee rebellion. So the employee won't listen to him anymore, they don't want to work, and this leader can kill the creativity and innovation of the employee.
Mm.
uh, it can reduce the, if you want, the group synergy and collaboration. Okay, but it can lead to good results. But on the other hand, the team members will be like, what we call it, they will be like, it will be like a dictatorship. They will be under a dictatorship. Okay, so the second one is called the participative leadership, which means they go into democratic theory. So they work on democratic approach in terms of team members or decision making. So the team members will feel like included in the decision, because this leader will come and discuss with the team members, like, about decisions, about how we should work this project, or how we should, as I said, take the decision. So the advantages: this will increase the employee motivation and the job satisfaction, and the employee will become more creative. Okay, and the employee will work more and more together as a strong team, and teamwork, and the productivity will be high. But there are some disadvantages in this approach, where when you include the team members and you take your time in like taking decisions and do the decisions and so on, so it's time consuming, especially sometimes you are squeezed with timelines. Okay, then the leader here might be like a bit, what we call it, apologetic to employees. So he become like apologizing to employees a bit, which sometimes is not good. And there might be some communication failures in this approach, but also it's not a bad approach to be like in a democratic leadership. The other type of leadership, it's the delegative leadership. So I'm a leader. I have someone who's working like directly under me. I delegate to him. This person will delegate to others, and the others delegate to others. Okay. So here you here it's good and not good, because it's good like the experienced employees can take advantage of their competence and experience, and they can increase their experience in terms of leadership. You can create a leader, and some leaders, when you follow this approach, because
Yes.
indirectly you are telling your person, the person, that go and lead the others. So
Yep.
he will lead in a certain way. So it will create a positive work environment. But sometimes the command responsibility is not properly defined. So here it's very important, if someone or a leader wants to take this approach, which is the delegative approach, to be like, to set up the command responsibility in a good way, so it will be like defined in a good way, so it won't be lost during this approach. So these are some some of the approaches of leadership. There are others, of course, but for me, for example, I can mix with some of those leadership approaches. So I can work on delegating. I work on participating with my team members, of course, because I share with them. We do meetings, we discuss, and we take decisions. And I work on the first one also, because sometimes you need the authoritarian leadership. So, so the best way is to learn this different approach, and depending on the project or on the work, you can decide how to work. And if either you take this approach or this approach or this approach, or you can mix the three or four or five approaches. You can mix those approaches in one approach in order to achieve your goal. So in my role, I mix in approaches of leadership. Until now, it's successful. Of course, every, you have your things which sometimes fail a bit, but this is project at the end of the day. This is work where you fail a bit, or and but you achieve higher goals. So this is me, in fact.
It's it's interesting because you bring the part of I hear that like how to lead other, and then but the problem of that is like in the bottom they won't understand clearly what you're meaning, you know. And that's what I also learned over the time, because I did the same mistake. It's burnout energy for me to run a big team, and then I have to teach a top leader, like you say, you know, a top few people would be the close
Yeah.
to you. You guide them, they know how to do work, they know how to start thinking like you. But the problem is human error is true. You know, what
Yes.
is your message, come to them, and then go to the next people is completely different story. How they cook it, it become their own style of cooking the work, and then the end the result is we are have to bear with the work, because we responsibility for the work the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yes, it's very good tip for people who learn leader, that what Elie just mentioned. I think that's a wonderful, you can mix and you can figure out which project, what theme, what can you learn from each project, how to mix and match and make your own style of leadership. um so talk about like experience that you have, and thanks so far the sharing you have is, I think, is very valuable for a lot of young
Thank
entrepreneur and young leader that looking
you.
to,
Yeah.
they want to lead their team. And like you say, it's not many people guiding and teaching us all these back then. And I love right now the internet is so free, people can learn so much from each other, from how they mistake and failure.